Heavy is one of the most boring classes in Team Fortress 2. There, I said it. I know, it's crazy that I even just said that. Now everyone watching, can you please pretend I said something crazy and shocking about the Heavy by writing something in the comment section, preferably with a shocking emoji and lots of exclamation mark. Now the next thing that I'm gonna say might come off as another shocker to you, given that I've said everything about the Heavy before. I don't actually enjoy playing the Heavy. I'm really just dropping the big news after big news, isn't it? I hope your heart can handle it. The only good thing about the Heavy existing in Team Fortress 2 developed and published by Valve Corporation in 2007 is that the character makes me think twice about reaching for that snack in the fridge. Because the last thing I need in my life is to walk like I just came out of a clinic after a rectum and prostate exam. Now, I'm not insulting the people who main Heavy as their class. I'm just wondering why you would choose to main the 40 BMI character as opposed to 8 other classes in the game. Now, I'm not trying to say to not ever play the Heavy, but maining him is definitely more questionable than my dog Chihuahua constantly arching its back towards my pelvic area. But this video is really about making the best loadout for the Heavy so we can maximize as much fun as possible. So let us not drag the video any further and go ahead with the first weapon on the list.
Kiss me.
Now the Heavy has quite a few main weapons he can choose from. He's a big man, and a big man like him, he needs everything big to compensate for something tiny, like me. So together, we have 5 different miniguns to choose from, each with different pros and cons, and do we really know which minigun is the best if we have not tried out all of them? Okay, let's cut all the BS. We all know it's the Tomislav, you know it's the Tomislav, I know it's the Tomislav, the babies in the garbage disposal know it's the Tomislav. But why is it the Tomislav and not any other miniguns? Well, taking a look at the stats from the TF2 wiki, the first thing we have to do is take notice of the 20% faster spin up time. Now, what is the faster spin up time? I meant in-game, of course, not in real life. I always have a faster spin up time when I'm entering a gay bar, but moving aside all of that, it's the rate at which the gun has to start turning or charging or preparing. It's basically like a quick time prompt from other games before you're able to shoot your bullets. Taking the stats that was written from the TF2 wiki, the Tomislav has a wind-up time of exactly 0.696 seconds. And that's the best wind-up time you're gonna get from this gun. There's no other minigun that has a faster wind-up time, and it's kinda sad that they could have possibly added more different varieties of miniguns. Now the reason why I think the game should add more variety, the reality is that every other miniguns are so trash aside from the default that it's not even about having different guns for different situations. Just use the Tomislav on every situation and you're good, man. The other weapons that are available are like the same as when my nephew comes to disturb me because he wants to play the PlayStation. I then proceed to hand him the controller, only for him to realize after playing for 2 hours, the controller has no battery at all. And then he starts crying and I tell him, haha, get wrecked. That's me illustrating how useless the other miniguns are. And don't worry, I'm not a bully to my nephew. I let him play the PlayStation after the very next day without any battery. Now the second pros I want to talk about is the 20% more accuracy. From my short testing of both of the guns, mainly killing from this distance, I don't even know. Let's just call it the long range. The result I feel is that the minigun hits more than the Tomislav. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. I'm thinking it's probably because the minigun just fires more and compensates with a higher bullet count over accuracy. I mean, how do you even start calculating this? This is just whatever, man. Accuracy is such a weird stats for a game like Team Fortress 2. Because the bullet spreads are basically RNG anyway, so when it says things like 20% increased accuracy, man oh man, I don't see the increased accuracy and I sure don't feel like the gun is more accurate when I'm using it. Moving past all of that, the other thing I want to talk about is the silent killer. And no, I'm not talking about what happens between the girl and the male horse. The silent killer is a very interesting thing that I don't see any other PvP games have, or at least not the games that I know have them. Now for the people who don't know what the silent killer is, it basically does not show the kill feed when you kill someone. Well, for this example, it does show, but only my team gets to see the kill. So basically the enemy team does not know that the person is dead. Now at first glance, it seems so acoustic, because most games have in-game communication, so it doesn't even matter whether or not the queue feed isn't there. But surprisingly, Team Fortress 2 has an in-game communication, and half the time people don't even use it, or the other half are McDonald's drive-thru mic quality where you can't even understand most of what they're trying to say. They will turn on the mic and it sounds like a hurricane for 10 seconds, only for him to say there's a spy on our base. Oh yeah, thanks mate. He killed our entire team, you could have said that earlier, you twat head. I think this silent killer really applies more to an instant kill character like the spy, because with the instant kill, it's much more effective for the spy to get a few backstabs in a row rather than the heavy having it, which would take a lot longer to kill someone, and the gun sound would just give off your location anyway. What I'm basically saying is that the TF2 devs have a 12-inch screw up where the light doesn't shine for making this. Also, nice silent killer by the way, no barrel spinning sound, the enemies can hear this. Last thing that the Tomislav has is minus 20% firing speed, which is actually 15% from what the wiki says, blah blah blah, no one cares about that. Let's move on to secondary weapons. Secondary weapons are a funny thing for a class like the Heavy. He has exactly 3 items that allow him to shoot the enemy, the shotgun, the family business, and the panic attack. Everything else is basically a different variation of food. We have a sandwich, a very nice looking banana, it's my size of course, is what I tell myself every Christmas when Santa wakes up onto my bed with a vibrator behind me, a handy looking steak, and a chocolate bar. We can first easily remove the items that are just bad. A few of them are the Delocus bar, the buffalo steak, and all the shotguns. The Delocus bar is an item that gives you an extra max HP of 50 for 30 seconds, and you can eat it once to heal 100 HP. Okay, first of all, 50 max HP, can I take the shotgun instead and friendly fire myself? The item is so trash, like who even thought of adding this and think some players will actually use it? The Delocus bar gets a F in my book. The second item we have is the buffalo steak. Gonna kindly say, sir, we're not in D-Group keep with 10 demonites up our ass. What even is the point of using this? This item gets a D. Now as for the rest of the shotguns, I really have no idea in what scenario are you pulling out the shotgun because you ran out of minigun ammo. Dip your eyeballs with some Mr. Clean and wash them right because you're not seeing the ammo box on the floor. You need help if you use the shotgun. The only clear winner with this is the sandwich. It fully heals you and doesn't do any weird BS like healing half of your max HP, or god forbid it turns on your grandma's toy and you hear the buzzing sound 6 feet under at the cemetery. I don't know why I just decided to tell you guys something that happened in the past, but whatever, let's move on to... Now with the melee weapons, this is a no-brainer. It's always the gloves of running urgently. We don't even have to look at any other melee because they are just as good as the heavy secondary, by which I mean they are all crap and they need a rework. The heavy is the slowest class in the game, and gonna be honest, it's already boring to play him in the first place, so I don't need more slow walking speed where I'm taking forever to reach the front line, especially when there's no engineer on the team. You kind of start to appreciate the 100% walking speed from other characters after playing the heavy for an extended period of time. My version of extended period of time is 2 hours, which is how much I spent playing the heavy just for this video. I was mowing down enemies left and right, but was it fun with the best loadout? Not really, because the heavy is just super simple to play. It's not a character that you need a lot of skills to play like the spy, so the kills just don't feel rewarding for me.